Assalamu alaikum. Today we will discuss Surah Al-Muzammil with Dr. Sania Snain Khan Saab. As we know that Quran is a book of God and it has been preserved in its entirety for all times to come. Every chapter of the Quran has a distinct theme and introduction. The significance of Surah Al-Muzammil is very important as when we read Surah Al-Muzammil, we develop a spiritual peace and tranquility. Surah Muzammil also has a very important message to give. What is that message? We will understand it today from डॉक्टर साहब. तो चलिए डॉक्टर साहब से बातचीत करते हैं. अस्सलाम वालेकुम डॉक्टर साहब, कैसे हैं आप?
वालेकुम सलाम, अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह। आप कैसे हैं?
जी अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह. डॉक्टर साहब आज जिस चैप्टर पर आप चर्चा करेंगे बहुत ही छोटा चैप्टर है, कुल 20 आयतें हैं. तो
लेकिन मीनिंग के लिहाज से बहुत बड़ा है।
बहुत सिग्निफिकेंस है
जी।
उसकी. तो किस तरीके से डॉक्टर साहब हम समझें इस सूरा को, इसके बारे में बताएं.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम, रब्बिश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली. चैप्टर 73 यानी सूरा अल-मुज़्ज़म्मिल, it is one of the earliest chapters of the Quran.
जी.
The first chapter, as we know, was Iqra bismi rabbikal ladzi khalaq. Then the second revelation was Surah Al-Muddassir, Ya ayyuhal Muddassir qum fa anzir. And the third was this one, Surah Al-Muzammil, in which the command for dawah work was given. And you can understand that it is such an important task that Allah gave this command for dawah right in the beginning. And this chapter, Surah Al-Muzammil, basically focuses on dawah work. And tahajjud is prescribed as a means to achieve the strength, the spirit that a da'i need for his work. So let's start this chapter. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya ayyuhal muzzammil. O you, the one who is wrapped up in your mantle, in your blanket. So Allah is calling the Prophet with the name of Al-Muzammil, which means someone who is sleeping and is covered by his blanket or cloak or garment. If you remember, when the first revelation came, the Prophet was shattered and he was shaking and trembling. So he ran to Hazrat Khadija Raziyallahu Anha and he said, Zammiluni, Zammiluni, cover me, cover me. So the word Zammiluni and Muzammil comes from the same root word. And so this is a very affectionate and loving way of addressing the Prophet, Ya ayyuhal Muzammil. And it meant that it is not time to sleep. It is time to wake up. You get up and you build the strength and the spirit which is needed for conveying the message of the Quran to all people. And then it says, Qum il-layla illa qalila. Ya ayyuhal muzammil, qum il-layla illa qalila. This is the first command of tahajjud in the Quran.
जी.
And you can understand its importance that right in the beginning this command was given. At that time, 5 daily prayers were not prescribed. They were prescribed by the end of Meccan era in Isra and Miraj. So, Qumil layla illa qalila means, O you who is wrapped up in your blanket, in your cloak, get up, stand up to pray much of the night. Nisfahu awin qus minhu qalila. Half of the night or even little less than half of the night. So the choice is given. If you can pray for half of the night, it's good. If not, you can make it less. And the next verse says, Awzid alayhi, or make it little more. If you can pray for half of the night, then try to make little more.
जी.
I mean, God is encouraging and motivating the believer that if you can pray for half of the night, don't be contented, try to do more. وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. This is very important part of this verse. رَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. It means that read the Quran slowly in measured tone. So this actually tells how we should read the Quran. وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. That means tartil. Tartil means to read the Quran slowly and in measured tone so that you can understand and grasp and internalize its message. So read with pauses. Don't read hurriedly, not hastily. Read with ease. And when you will read in this way, then a two-way communication will start, because God inspires you, and Quran is word of God, as if you are listening to God's voice, God's words. So you are asking question and He is responding to you. You are making dua and God is accepting your dua. You are asking for any help and God is helping you. So reading the Quran in this way becomes like you are listening to God's voice. You are listening to God's voice, and it becomes a kind of dialogue between you and God. Uh, and as if you are studying the Quran with the author of the Quran. Maulana has said that Quran is the only book you can contact his author anytime. So this is what happens. The moment you start reading the Quran without any distraction, so this kind of relationship you can build with the Quran, which is not dry or monotonous. It is live and vibrant and very dynamic. So this kind of relationship should be developed with the Quran, and when you will develop this kind of relationship, then it will become a guide for you, which will guide you on each and every step of your life. Ibn Masud Raziyallahu Anh, who is one of the greatest Sahaba, and his voice was so beautiful that even the Prophet would love to listen to his recitation. He said something very beautiful about how to read the Quran. And he said, La tansuruhu nasara daqli. Don't scatter your recitation, your reading, like you scatter the sand. Like if you are sitting on a shore, on a beach, you will just throw sand balls like this. So don't do that. Don't read the Quran mindlessly. And he said, Wala tahuzuhu hazza shari. And don't read the Quran as hasty poetry. It's a very serious book. Don't read it like poetry. Qifu in the ajaibihi. It's very important. He said, stop at its wonders. Because when you read the Quran, you should stop and think and do tadabbur. Uh, uh, and the Prophet has said, La tanqazi ajaibuhu. Its wonders will never end. The wonders of the Quran will never end. Layer upon layer, it will open for you. So if you read like in this way and something which interests you, so you should write it down. I think one should make a Quran journal. Muslims don't use Quran journal much, but the Christians use it a lot. Bible journal, in which they note their reflections, their prayers. So if you're reading the Quran and something strikes you, you should note it down.
Very important also.
Yeah, very important. Then you can refer it back. You can make dua. You can your own reflections. So this way you can make a very good sort of notebook that you can always come back to it. And he said, وَحَرِّكُ بِهِ الْقُلُوبِ, and move the Quran, move your hearts with it. Move your heart with it. यानी आप असर लें. ऐसे नहीं कि आप पढ़ रहे हैं, कोई दिल में असर नहीं है, दिमाग कहीं है, दिल कहीं है. So you should move your heart with it. And the last thing which he said, وَلَا يَكُنْ حَمَّ أَحَدِكُمْ آخِرَ السُّورَةِ, that your goal should not be quickly to reach to the end of the surah. to finish the surah,
जी
as we are now doing in Taraweeh, etc. So it should be slow, so that you understand the message. So let it touch your heart, let it affect your heart, and let it sink in your heart. That should be the goal. And Prophet's wife, Salama, Raziallah anha, she said that when the Prophet was used to read namaz, he would stop at every verse. He would stop and think. So in this way, your mind will get involved, because you will start thinking about it. You will do tadabbur. So you are not just reading, but you are doing tadabbur at the same time. And Huzaifa ibn al-Yaman, who was a great Sahabi, Razillah anhu, he said once, he was very close to the Prophet. So he said, once I performed Tahajjud prayer with the Prophet, and I noticed that whenever he read or he come across a verse in which God was glorified, so he stopped there and he glorified God. And whenever uh, something about dua is mentioned in the Quran, he would stop there and make dua. And whenever Allah's protection was sought in the Quran, he read something about Allah's protection, he stopped there and he seek Allah's protection. So this is about the reading of the Quran, or tartil we called it.
इनफैक्ट डॉक्टर साहब आपने बहुत अच्छे से इस बात को समझाया और एम्फसाइज़ भी किया कि आहिस्ता और स्लोली पढ़ना कितना ज़रूरी है। हज़रत आयशा से भी रिवायत है कि उन्होंने कहा कि रसूलुल्लाह यूज्ड टू रीड चैप्टर्स सो स्लोली दैट इट वुड टेक लॉन्गर देन द चैप्टर्स व्हिच वर एक्चुअली लॉन्गर। इस तरीके से वो पढ़ते थे। और डॉक्टर साहब कुरान को भी जैसे आपने कहा कि समझ समझ के हमें पढ़ना है। सो प्रॉफिट वन सेड दैट that if matters become very doubtful, then make Quran indispensable for you, because it is your intercessor and its intercession has been accepted. क्योंकि एक डॉक्टर साहब एक एक्सटीरियर होता है, एक इंटीरियर है। एक्सटीरियर इज़ लाइक द कमांडमेंट्स ऑफ द कुरान एंड द इंटीरियर इज़ द नॉलेज। एंड डॉक्टर साहब जैसे आपने कहा ना कि इट शुड मूव योर हार्ट, so the truth of the Quran is such, and we also see it, Dr. Saab, from chapter 72, जो इससे एक चैप्टर पहले का है सूरह अल जिन का, कि किस तरह a band of jinn said that today we came across a marvelous Quran which guides us to the straight path and we believe in it. तो ये डॉक्टर साहब तभी हो सकता है जब हम उसको ख़त्म करने के माइंडसेट से ना पढ़ें, बल्कि उसको एब्जॉर्ब करने के माइंडसेट से पढ़ें, उसको ज़िंदगी में उतारने के पर्सपेक्टिव से समझें। तो
बहुत अच्छा आपने
बहुत
ये बताया सूरह जिन का, क्योंकि जिन भी मुतासिर हो गए।
जी
बहुत अच्छा, इन्ना समअना कुरानन अजबा,
जी
बहुत अच्छी सूरत है ये। बल्कि आपने ये मेंशन किया तो मैं एक बात और बताऊं कि सूरह जिन जहाँ रिवील हुई थी मक्का में, वहाँ पर एक मस्जिद है, उसका नाम है मस्जिद जिन, मस्जिद जिन। कोई जा सकता है, विज़िट कर सकता है। क्योंकि जब प्रॉफिट ताइफ से आ रहे थे तो वहाँ रुके थे, तो उस वक्त ये रेवलेशन आया था। तो उस जगह पे एग्जैक्ट उसी स्पॉट पे मस्जिद जिन है आज।
जी आप डॉक्टर साहब कंटिन्यू कीजिए प्लीज़।
तो फिर ये नेक्स्ट वर्स इज़ इन्ना सनुल्की अलैका कौलन सकीला, वी आर अबाउट टू सेंड डाउन अ वेरी हैवी मैसेज, a message of considerable gravity. Literally it means a heavy word or heavy weighty word, but this heavy word means this is a heavy responsibility of dawa work. And it was not limited to the Prophet or the Sahaba, but it is a responsibility of every believer, because the Prophet has said, Inna Allah ba'asani rahmatan linnasi kaffatan fa'addu anni. I have been sent as a mercy for all the people, for all mankind. So convey my message to people. So it is the greatest responsibility, and in this sense, it is a considerable message of considerable gravity, and it is our responsibility to convey the message of the Quran to all people. and in their own language, in their own mother tongue, so that they can understand. They can understand what is the creation plan of God, what is hereafter, what is life and death, and what is hell, and what is day of judgment. So this is very important that each one of us should do dawa work, and the best way to do the dawa is present Quran in their own language to people we meet. And then it says, Inna nashiyat al-layli hiya ashaddu wat'an wa aqwamu qila. Here three phrases are used, nashiyatul layl and ashaddu wat'an and aqwamu qila. These are very important phrases to understand tahajjud. It shows the importance of tahajjud. Nashiyat al-layl means to get up at night before completing your sleep. For example, if you have a flight at 2 a.m., you will get up at that time, and then you will go to airport without completing your sleep. So Nashiyat al-layl mean getting up at night without completing your sleep. Literally, it means rising at night. And ashaddu wat'an means very, very difficult, it's a very hard hardship. And standing in at night and pray is very difficult. Wat'an means literally to crush, to trample. So your soul is crushed when you get up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. in the morning and read Quran, stand in prayer and read. मौलाना ने लिखा है तज़किरुल कुरान में कि चक्की के दो पार्टों के बीच में पिस जाना. तो इस सेंस में ये है अशद वतन कि but as a result it helps in better understanding of the Quran, deeper comprehension of the Quran. And the next phrase is aqwa muqila. It means clarity of speech. Because if you will read the Quran at night, then your understanding, your comprehension will be much better in comparison to daytime, and it will lead to higher realization. During daytime, when you go out, when Prophet used to pray at night, and in the daytime he would go and give dawah. So that is what it is mentioned here, कि at night if you will pray tahajjud, and you will get that strength and that spirit and understanding of the Quran. So in the daytime when you go out and give dawah to people, your speech will be much clear. There'll be much force, in forceful way. In forceful way, you will be able to tell people, and it will be very effective. Because at night there is no distraction, no phone call, no doorbell, or no courier, or no one is going to meet you, or your mind is also focused. So its ability to understand is much higher in comparison to daytime. Daytime you can have, if you stand up like I pray Zohar in my office, then too many distractions. Somebody will come, some phone call will come, or so a lot of distraction. You cannot focus. But if you are praying at night, then all these distractions are not there, and it will be much better. So the Prophet is encouraged here to read tahajjud at night so that he can prepare himself. He can prepare himself and uh, for the daytime. And there is a hadith which is very nice. It tells us that it is best time for dua also. And it says, every night during the last third of the night, our Lord descend on the lowest heaven and says, who calls upon me that I might answer him? Who calls me, who asks me that I might give him? And who seeks my forgiveness that I may forgive him. So actually, this he descends, Lord. That not doesn't mean physically, but because of the time, and there is no distraction. So the uh, ability to uh, pray and seek forgiveness is much better than daytime. So this is the meaning of these three phrases.
इनफैक्ट डॉक्टर साहब ये बहुत बड़ा इंसेंटिव भी है जो आपने बताया, क्योंकि यू आर सो क्लोज टू गॉड एट दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम। एक रिवायत भी है हज़रत अबू उमामा से कि प्रॉफिट से पूछा गया कि विच सप्लिकेशन इज़ लिसन मोर बाय गॉड, तो ही सेड द वन विच इज़ मेड एट द लेटर पार्ट ऑफ द नाइट एंड आफ्टर द ऑब्लिगेटरी प्रेयर्स। तो ये एक इंसेंटिव है डॉक्टर साहब। और एक और हमने पहले भी डॉक्टर साहब इसकी चर्चा करी थी, मुझे वो बहुत अच्छी लगती है हदीस जो अबू हुरैरा से रिवायत है वो, कि रसूलुल्लाह ने भी दुआ करी उस शख्स के लिए, उस औरत के लिए जो रात को उठ के तहज्जुद करते हैं। वो बड़ी अच्छी हदीस है कि वंस प्रॉफिट सेड दैट मे अल्लाह हैव मर्सी अपॉन द पर्सन who gets up in the night and then he observes the prayer and then he awakens his wife and she also observes the prayer, और अगर वो नहीं उठती हैं तो वो he sprinkles water on her face। फिर उन्होंने दुआ करी, मे अल्लाह हैव मर्सी अपॉन द वुमन who gets up in the night and observes the prayer and then she awakens her husband and he also observes the prayer, और अगर वो नहीं उठते हैं तो वो स्प्रिंकल करती हैं उनके चेहरे पे कि वो उठ के नमाज अदा करें। और डॉक्टर साहब एक चीज़ मुझे लगता है कि इट्स ऑल्सो वेरी साइंटिफिक, बिकॉज आपने जैसे कहा कि डिस्ट्रैक्शन नहीं होती और रियलाइजेशन इज़ हाई, स्ट्रेंथ इंक्रीजेस, क्योंकि होता क्या है कि जब हम आधी रात को उठते हैं तहज्जुद के लिए, तो आपका एक तरफ माइंड कह रहा होता है कि मुझे सोना है, देयर आर टेम्पटेशंस टू स्लीप, but you take mind in your control and you go against that, and this sort of increases your moral strength because temptation hit every man and woman. So when you are in your day to day life, you are dealing with situations, the temptations come, but at that time your moral sensitivity has already strengthened because of your awakening at night and controlling your mind, so you do not succumb to those temptations. It is as if the moral sensitivity is like your moral teacher who comes in the front and tells you that this is what is right and this is what is wrong. तो वो जो एक डिस्टिंक्शन है डॉक्टर साहब, वो स्पिरिचुअली डेवलप हो जाता है एंड आपकी विल पावर इतनी स्ट्रांग होती है कि आप सिचुएशन को मैनेज कर लेते हैं। तो इसलिए इसके बहुत सारे बेनिफिट हैं। तो डॉक्टर साहब प्लीज़ आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए जी।
So as I was just reading the last verse, that it crushes your soul and it's very difficult for you, but in terms of result you are more prepared, you are better equipped to talk to people, to explain, and your speech will be very impactful and you will be able to express your thought in a better way and it will be more forceful, and I think this is very important for people who are in the field of dawah, that they should pray tahajjud, and then they can get the strength and the spirit to become a better dai, to explain in a better way to people, to dialogue, they can make better dialogue. And then the next verse is inna laka fi nahari sabhan tawila. During the day you have a prolonged occupation in dawa work. Maulana has added this dawa work in bracket in this translation, because that was the only work the Prophet was doing. In daytime he was only going for dawa work. The word sabhan tawila, sabha means moving in the air or moving. There is another verse in the Quran which says wa kullu fi falakin yasbahun. It talks about the galaxies and the stars and planets, they are moving. So the same word is used here, that in the daytime you are moving all the time. You are busy in your dawa activities. So it is better that to pray at night. So therefore, night time is should be exclusively devoted for worship of Allah. In doing so, one will be better equipped for dawa work. And the next verse says, "Wazkur isma rabbika wa tabattal ilayhi tabtila." Remember the name of your Lord and devote yourself to Him wholeheartedly. The word tabattal ya tabattul means to cut something.
Mhm.
So it means you cut yourself from other engagements and devote yourself to the worship of Allah. Waskur isma rabbika, yani you remember the name of your Lord. It doesn't mean that you say Allah, Allah, Allah 20 times, 40 times, this time and that time. It means, as Maulana has explained it, we should remember God uh, through reference point.
Mhm. जी.
Yeah. And everything that we see is actually reference point. Sun, moon, star, planet, and our things that we eat, the things we use, our entire existence, everything is a reference point. Water is a reference point. How God has created these things. So यानी इससे आपके अंदर जज्बा शुक्र पैदा होता है. सिर्फ अल्लाह 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 अगर आप तस्बीह करेंगे माइंडलेसली, उसमें क्या होगा? कुछ नहीं होगा. कि आपको एहसास हो जाएगा आपने कुछ जिक्र कर लिया. जिक्र तो वो है कि जो जज्बा शुक्र उभारे आपके अंदर,
जी.
तो वो बताया गया है कि वस्कुर इस्म रब्बिका व तबत्तल इलैहि तब्तीला. देन इट सेज रब्बुल मशरिक़ि वल मग़रिबि ला इलाहा इल्ला हु फत्तखिज़हु वकीला. He is the Lord of the East and West. There is no deity but Him. So take Him as your guardian. Take Him as your वकील. उर्दू में हम वकील का वर्ड यूज़ करते हैं फॉर एडवोकेट. So we entrust our case to Him. So in the same way, this verse says, you entrust all your problems and all your worries to Allah, and devote your time to dawa work. Entrust all your affairs, all your problems. So this is how we can develop the spirit of dawa and take him as your guardian. فَاتَّخِذْهُ وَكِيلًا. Take him as your guardian, as your wakil, and seek his help in tahajjud prayer, make dua, and you put trust in him, rely upon him. Allah को अपना कारसाज बना लो. Hand over all your worries, all your problems, hand over. God will take care of it. So this is what means فَاتَّخِذْهُ وَكِيلًا. Give all your problems, all your worries, जैसे मौलाना कहते थे, अल्लाह के खाने में डालो.
हाँ, जी.
तो सारी बात अल्लाह के खाने में डालो और फोकस करो दावती काम के ऊपर. ये बात इसमें कही जा रही है.
जी. और डॉक्टर साहब इसमें जो एक एस्पेक्ट है कि इग्नोर देम पोलाइटली, तो इस पे मौलाना क्योंकि बहुत ज़्यादा एम्फसाइज़ करते थे सब्र को लेकर, तो मैं उस पे ये थोड़ा सा ऐड करना चाहूँगा कि मौलाना ने जैसे इस पे लिखा है इसी आयत पे, दैट व्हाट ही मेंट वाज दैट यू डील देम इन अ पॉजिटिव मैनर. क्योंकि कुरान में भी जैसे डॉक्टर साहब आया है कि दोज हु परसिवियर पेशेंटली विल बी गिवन बियॉन्ड मेजर. तो किसी और डीड के लिए बियॉन्ड मेजर का रिवॉर्ड नहीं आया, सिर्फ सब्र के लिए आया है. और वो कहा करते थे कि यहाँ पे जो रिवॉर्ड है उससे मुराद है पर्सनालिटी डेवलपमेंट, क्योंकि आपको अपनी पर्सनालिटी प्योरीफाई करना है. एंड पैराडाइज में सिर्फ प्योरीफाइड पर्सनालिटी ही एडमिट करी जाएंगी. तो ये भी एक तरीके से स्ट्रैटेजी है. इनफैक्ट इट्स अ मास्टर स्ट्रैटेजी, because when you are patient and you sort of forgive others, then you are in a way being future oriented in your planning. और सिर्फ फ्यूचर ओरिएंटेड प्लानिंग ही आपको सक्सेस दे सकती है. तो ये एक बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट मौलाना साहब
हाँ,
ने लिखा है.
मौलाना ने सब्र पे बहुत जोर दिया है, और जो अगली वर्स है वो सब्र पे ही है. वस्बिर अला मा यक़ूलूना वहजुरहुम हजरन जमीला. Be patient with what they say and avoid them in a beautiful manner, avoid them in a gracious manner. Don't respond them in any harsh way. Don't fight with them. Don't argue with them. If they use any bad language, don't abuse them and don't say harsh words. This is very important for Dai,
जी
that we should learn this, that if somebody is uh, talking to us, behaving in a very bad way, we should just ignore. And it says, Wahjurhum hajran jamila. Ignore in a beautiful way. Just ignore. Uh, don't say any word. Don't use any bad. Don't argue. Don't fight. And then it says, Wazarni wal mukazzibina ulin ni'amati wa mahilhum qalila. Leave it to me. God is saying, leave it to me to deal with the deniers who live a life of comfort and bear with them a little longer. وَذَرْنِي وَالْمُكَذِّبِينَ أُولِي النَّعْمَةِ وَمَهِّلْهُمْ قَلِيلًا. यानी थोड़ी मोहलत दो उनको. अगर आप देखेंगे कि बहुत से लोग शुरू में रसूलुल्लाह के ख़िलाफ़ थे, लेकिन बाद में वही लोग बहुत ही बड़े बड़े सहाबा बने. तो उसी बात को कहा जा रहा है कि वमहिलहुम कलीला, कि गिव देम सम टाइम. उलिन नेमती is used here for the rich Quraysh leaders who were living in luxury, who were living in very comfortable life. So it is referred to them. And Allah is saying that I will deal with them. I will uh, 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 take care of them. You just do your work. So this is also very crucial message for people who are in Dawa, that they should not fight with people who are against you or say any bad word, but should focus on the work. If there is any problem, leave it to God. They should entrust their case, their problems to Allah and give them some time. وَمَهِّلْهُمْ قَلِيلًا. Give them some time, be patient, and Allah will deal with such people. And then says the next verse is, Inna ladayna ankalam wa jahima. We have in store for them heavy shackles and a blazing fire. Wa ta'aman za ghussatin wa azaban alima. And food that chokes and painful punishment. Yawma tarjuful ardu wal jibalu wa kanatil jibalu kasiban mahila. Very powerful depiction of the doomsday. Yawma tarjuful ardu wal jibalu. This is what happened on the doomsday, that on that day the earth and the mountain shall shake. Quran में आता है at another place, inna zalzalat as-sa'ati shay'un azim. The earthquake of the hour will be a tremendous thing. So on that day, a very mighty earthquake will shake everything. And it says, وَكَانَتِ الْجِبَالُ كَسِيبًا مَهِيلًا. And the mountain will become like heap of sand, flowing sand. Mountain today we see it is very strong, very heavy. You cannot move it, you cannot cut it. But on that day it will turn into sand, flowing sand, as if it is flowing. So Kasiba Mahila, heap of shifting sand. The mountain, which now is so strong, will become a heap of sand on that day. And a very powerful depiction of the doomsday. May Allah save us from all the difficulties and horror of that day.
जी जज़ाकल्लाह डॉक्टर साहब. इनफैक्ट डॉक्टर साहब, मैं भी जब सोचता हूँ डूम्सडे के बारे में तो एकदम बहुत ही ज़्यादा खौफ आ जाता है. इनफैक्ट डॉक्टर साहब, अगर हम कुरान जैसे पढ़ते हैं उसमें आयत भी आती है चैप्टर 66 में कि अल्लाह ताला फरमाते हैं कि बिलीवर्स सेव गार्ड योर सेल्फ एंड योर फैमिलीज फ्रॉम द फायर फ्यूल्ड बाय स्टोन्स एंड पीपल. इट इज़ सो स्कैरी डॉक्टर साहब, मतलब वो बहुत ही भयानक मंजर होगा. इट इज़ सर्टेनली टू कम, बट वी हैव टू प्रिपेयर आवरसेल्फ, वी हैव टू फियर गॉड. इसी आयत के हवाले से डॉक्टर साहब मैं एक हदीस बताना चाहता हूँ कि रसूलुल्लाह एक मर्तबा सहाबा के साथ बैठे हुए थे और वो यही बता रहे थे. तो जब ये आयत आई तो एक सहाबी ने उनसे पूछा कि इसमें स्टोन का ज़िक्र है कि फायर व्हिच इज़ फ्यूल्ड बाय स्टोन एंड पीपल. तो उन्होंने कहा कि क्या दोज़ख का जो स्टोन होगा इट इज़ सिमिलर टू द स्टोन ऑफ दिस वर्ल्ड. तो प्रॉफिट ने कहा कि द स्मॉलेस्ट स्टोन ऑफ द हेल विल बी बिगर देन ऑल द माउंटेन्स ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. तो उसमें एक बूढ़ा आदमी था, तो जब उसने वो सुना, क्योंकि इतना फेथ था, उसने जब सुना, उसने तसव्वुर किया, वो कोलैप्स कर गया. तो रसूलुल्लाह ने उसके दिल पे हाथ रखा. ही वाज ब्रीदिंग हिज लास्ट. सो प्रॉफिट सेड दैट से कलेमा. उसने कलेमा पढ़ा, फिर प्रॉफिट ने उसे ग्लैड टाइडिंग्स दी पैराडाइज़ की. लेकिन डॉक्टर साहब, मतलब सोचने पे ये आता है कि अगर आपके अंदर अल्लाह का खौफ है तो आप लाइफ को बहुत ज़्यादा यू विल टेक इट सीरियसली. इनफैक्ट प्रॉफिट सेड टू हज़रत अबू ज़र दैट मेक फियर ऑफ गॉड बाइंडिंग अपॉन योर सेल्फ, इट इज़ अ रूट ऑफ एवरीथिंग. तो उन्होंने कहा रसूलुल्लाह से कि मुझे कुछ और बताइए. तो उन्होंने कहा कि मेक रीडिंग ऑफ द कुरान कंपल्सरी फॉर यू बिकॉज इट विल बी लाइट फॉर दिस वर्ल्ड एंड स्टॉक फॉर हेयर आफ्टर. लेकिन ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है डॉक्टर साहब कि जैसे मौलाना भी कहते थे, उन्होंने एक लेक्चर में बहुत सही कहा था कि आप कुरान को जब पढ़ें तो अपने माइंड सेट से ना पढ़ें. मेक कुरान एज योर लीडर एंड देन टेक इट्स इट्स स्पिरिचुअल इम्पोर्ट. और इस पे डॉक्टर साहब अबू मूसा अशअरी ने बहुत सही कहा है कि कुरान कैन बी अ रिकम्पेंस फॉर यू एज वेल एज अ डिज़ास्टर. तो उन्होंने कहा कि व्हेन you conform to the Quran, then it leads you to paradise. But when you make Quran conform to you, then it will lead you to hell. तो ये बहुत इम्पॉर्टेंट है डॉक्टर साहब, क्योंकि जैसे आपने भी बयान किया कि वो वक्त आने वाला है और उसके लिए हमें अपने आप को प्रिपेयर करना है. तो हमें कुरान पढ़ते रहना है, उसको समझना है, एंड वी हैव टू फियर गॉड बिकॉज वन डे वी विल बी फेसिंग हिम. जी डॉक्टर साहब, आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए.
And this verse is Inna arsalna ilaykum rasulan shahidan alaykum kama arsalna ila fir'auna rasula. We have sent you a messenger who is witness over you, shahidan alaykum, as we sent a messenger to Fir'aun before you. It means that this verse is referring to Moses, Musa alayhi salam, because Moses was sent to Fir'aun and his people. Inna arsalna ilaykum rasulan shahidan alaykum kama arsalna ila Fir'auna rasula. And the messenger has come, any prophet has come to you. It is being said to the people of Makkah that a messenger has come to you to bear witness upon you. What does that mean, bear witness? Mean on the day of judgment, the prophets will bear witness against their people who have not believed in them, that we have conveyed the message, and on the basis of that their fate will be decided by God. So it is like Allah ki adalat mein faisla hoga. So this is very important verse. And kama arsalna ila fir'auna rasula means that just as we have sent this messenger, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to you, we have sent a messenger, Moses alayhi salam, to Pharaoh. And similarly, and there is a similarity between Prophet and Moses, because Moses was disbelieved by the Pharaoh and his people, and if the Meccans will do the same, will behave in the same way, they will also meet the same end as Pharaoh. met. فَعَسَى فِرْعَوْنُ الرَّسُولَ فَأَخَذْنَاهُ أَخْذًا وَبِيلًا. But the Pharaoh disbelieved the messenger, meaning Moses. So what happened? فَأَخَذْنَاهُ أَخْذًا وَبِيلًا. We seized him with a strong and crushing grip. We seized him with a torrential seizing. Wabil means very burdensome, very strong. فَكَيْفَ تَتَّقُونَ إِن كَفَرْتُمْ يَوْمَ يَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شِيبًا. If you persist in denying the truth, how you will escape the day that will turn the children grey-haired? This is a figurative speech, a figurative phrase, meaning the horror of that day will be so heavy that it will affect people a lot. Nothing will happen to children because children are innocent, masoom. They will all go to paradise. Children who died at young age, they will all go to Jannat. So this is a figurative expression that on that day, on the day of judgment, it will be so intense and so difficult and so terrible that the horror of that day will severely affect people, and it will be in a very unusual way. So that is being said in this verse, وَيَجْعَلُ الْوِلْدَانَ شِيبًا, as if the children will become old. And the next verse is السَّمَاءُ مُنْفَطِرٌ بِهِ كَانَ وَعْدُهُ مَفْعُولًا. On that day the sky will break apart and God's promise shall be fulfilled. So imagine how difficult day that will be. Mountains will become like heap of sand and will flow like water flows, and the sky will break into pieces, and the mountain will turn into sands, and the promise of Allah about the end of the world, about end of life, will be undoubtedly realized. إِنَّ هَذِهِ تَذْكِرَةٌ فَمَنْ شَاءَ اتَّخَذَ إِلَى رَبِّهِ سَبِيلًا. This is surely a reminder. The Quran is a reminder, an admonition, a warning, a sign for those who follow the right path. Let them choose the right path that leads to his Lord. Inna hazihi tazkira. The Quran is a reminder, is a guide, is admonition. Whoever wishes may choose a path to his Lord. So the choice is yours. There is no compulsion. Whoever understand it and he wants to choose the right path, it is his choice and his call.
जी माशाल्लाह डॉक्टर साहब क्योंकि आखिरी आयत रह गई है तो उसकी एक्सप्लेनेशन से पहले मैं कुछ कमेंट्स पढ़ना चाहूँगा और फिर मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करूँगा कि उस आयत के बाद आप सेशन को ख़त्म करें। काफ़ी लोग प्रोग्राम को पसंद कर रहे हैं। डॉक्टर साहब ये कमेंट भेजा है मिस फ़रीदा कामरान ने पाकिस्तान से। उन्होंने लिखा है जज़ाकल्लाह हार्ट टचिंग लेक्चर, मे अल्लाह गाइड अस, अलाउ अस टू कॉन्टेम्पलेट एंड एक्ट अपॉन कुरान, आमीन। सोफ़िकुल इस्लाम साहब ने चेन्नई से लिखा है हैप्पी संडे, वेरी गुड लाइव लेक्चर, माशाअल्लाह, सलाम टू माय ऑल ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स। मोहम्मद इरफान रशीदी साहब ने नागपुर से लिखा है वेरी अब्जॉर्बिंग सेशन, जज़ाकल्लाह डॉक्टर साहब। डॉक्टर स्तुति मल्होत्रा ने दिल्ली से लिखा है थैंक यू डॉक्टर साहब फॉर अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट दैट वी शुड रीड कुरान स्लोली विद अंडरस्टैंडिंग. Also, we can note the reflection somewhere like Quran journal. Thank you. सैयद हसीब शाह नकवी साहब ने पाकिस्तान से लिखा है ग्रेट डिस्कशन ऑन सूरह अल मुज़म्मिल. When you are reading the book of God, you should keep thinking about it. हमीदुल्लाह हमीद साहब ने कश्मीर से लिखा है वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट मैसेज. डॉक्टर असलम साहब ने भी यही मैसेज भेजा है, वेरी नाइसली डिस्क्राइब. और मोहम्मद इमरान खान साहब ने पेशावर से लिखा है मौलाना वहीदुद्दीन खान साहब वाज माय स्पिरिचुअल टीचर, मे अल्लाह गिव हिम हाई रैंक इन पैराडाइज. मौलाना इकबाल उमरी ने चेन्नई से लिखा है आज मैं डॉक्टर साहब डॉक्टर रजत भाई दोनों के लिए दुआ कर रहा हूँ कि अल्लाह ताला आपको सेहत और आफ़ियत दे ताकि अल्लाह का पैगाम लोगों तक पहुँचे। दिस इज़ अ वेरी इंस्पायरिंग सेशन। जज़ाकल्लाह। तो डॉक्टर साहब आखिरी आयत आप इस पे आज ख़त्म करें सेशन को।
This verse number 20 is a very long verse. So it starts like this: Inna rabbaka ya'lamu annaka taqumu adna min thuluthay layli wa nisfahu wa thuluthahu wa ta'ifatum min allazina ma'ak. This talks about uh, tahajjud. uh, as in the beginning we read that half of the night or less than half or more than half. Here it says it could be half of the night or 2/3 of the night or 1/3 of the night. So the choice is given. There is no hard and fast rule. It all depends on someone's ability, his time, and his someone is maybe sick, he or she cannot perform. So it says, Inna rabbaka ya'lamu annaka taqumu adna min thulusai layli wa nisfahu wa thulusahu wa ta'ifatum min allazina ma'ak. Your Lord knows that you stand in prayer for nearly 2/3 of the night. Or half of the night, and sometimes 1/3 of it, as a group of those who are with you. The Prophet is told here that you pray sometimes half of the night, sometimes less than that, sometimes more than that, and a tiny group of Sahaba also stand with you. A small group of Sahaba. This is very beginning of Meccan period.
जी।
Alima allan tuhsuhu fataba alaykum. فقرأوا ما تيسر من القرآن. He knows that you will not be able to do it. Allah knows that you will not be able to do it. He knows that you will not be able to do it. You will not be able to stand in prayer for all night. Fataba alaykum. So He turned to you in mercy. So recite as much Quran as easily you can do. So relaxation has been given here. It's not obligatory. Actually, in the beginning, when command for tahajjud was given, it was obligatory because 5 daily prayers were not there. But some ulama says after 1 year, this was not obligatory, and it was a sort of voluntary prayer. Wallahu yuqaddiru al-layla wan-nahar. Allah determines, measures night and day. So everything is determined and planned by Allah. As we know that nothing happens in this world on its own. Even a drop of water doesn't fall on its own, or a leaf doesn't fall on its own. Alima an sayakunu minkum marda. He knows that there will be some among you who may be sick. So there is no obligation for the sick people who are not in a position to pray at night. وَآخَرُونَ يَضْرِبُونَ الْأَرْضَ يَبْتَغُونَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. And there are others who will be traveling through the land seeking Allah's bounty for their livelihood, for their business, for their job. يَبْتَغُونَ مِنْ فَضْلِ اللَّهِ. Seeking God's bounty, they travel in pursuit of their livelihood, for business or job. وَآخَرُونَ يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. And others are fighting in the cause of Allah. The word yuqatiluna should be understood today as dawa work, because in those time people used to fight, because that was a closed society. and the openness was not there. Today, if we go somewhere for dawah purpose, people will welcome us. If you give Quran to somebody, they will say, thank you. I wanted to get a copy since long and I wanted to read it. But in those days, people used to fight because that was a different age. So this was age factor. So today it should be understood as qital should be understood as dawah work. وَآخَرُونَ يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Literally it means that and others are fighting in the cause of Allah. It should be read as others are doing dawah work in the cause of Allah.
Very important
Yeah,
point, Doctor.
because today Muslims are fighting in many places. They are not fighting because of dawah. They are fighting for land. So that doesn't fall in this. So this is a very big misconception which should be understood. Because today we are living in an age of peace, an age of freedom. No one will fight you if you present Quran to I think nobody, very seldom somebody say no I will not take.
हम लोग खुद भी एक्सपीरियंस
हाँ,
करते हैं डॉक्टर साहब ये।
कोई ऐसा नहीं कहता कि वो लड़ने लगे आपसे।
जी बिल्कुल।
तो वो ज़माना चला गया। So it says فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنْهُ, whatever Quran you can read easily, if you are a traveler or you are a Sikh, so whatever Quran you can easily read, you can read it. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَقْرِضُوا اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. Perform prayer, give charity, and give Allah a goodly loan. Goodly loan or qarz hasan means that you give loan to someone without expecting return, without expecting interest or even principal. You are not expecting, especially for the cause of dawah, for the cause of other need of community. So God is calling it कर्ज हसन, यानी अल्लाह ताला कह रहा है कि मुझे कर्ज हसन दो. Don't expect its reward. But in the next verse it says وَمَا تُقَدِّمُوا لِأَنفُسِكُمْ مِنْ خَيْرٍ تَجِدُوهُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. This is very important. Whatever you send forth for your souls, you will find it with God. وَهُوَ خَيْرًا وَأَعْزَمَ أَجْرًا. And it will be improved and richly rewarded by Him. So if you give in the cause of Allah, you will not receive reward here, but in the hereafter, it will be multiplied. It is mentioned that if somebody does a bad deed, God counts it 1. But if somebody do a good deed, He gives 10 rewards. And that is the minimum. It can go up to unlimited. But bad deed is 1. So that is the way Allah multiplies the good deeds for the believers. Wastaghfirullah, inna Allaha ghafurur rahim. And seek God's forgiveness. He is the most forgiving and most merciful. So don't forget to seek God's forgiveness. He is the most merciful and most compassionate. So here the surah ends. It's a very motivating surah, and particularly for those who are in the field of dawah. जैसे इसमें आया वतबत्तल इलैहि तब्तीला, कि हर चीज़ से कट के अल्लाह के तरफ रुख करो. तो हम अल्लाह से दुआ करते हैं कि हमें भी इसकी तौफीक दे कि हम हर चीज़ से कटें और अल्लाह की तरफ जुड़ जाएं. और जिस तरह इसमें दावती काम के लिए कौलन सकीला का लफ्ज़ आया कि एक हैवी वर्ड, हैवी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, तो अल्लाह ताला हमें तौफीक दे कि हम इस हैवी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को अदा कर सकें और दावती ज़िम्मेदारी को अदा कर सकें. और जो मदू की तरफ से कोई अनप्लेजेंट बातें पेश आती हैं तो उसमें हजर जमील का मामला करें और ये तौफीक अता फ़रमाएँ कि हम मदू से हजर जमील का मामला करें. इसी तरह इस सूरत में खुदा को याद करने के लिए कहा गया है, वज़्कुर इस्म रब्बिक, कि अपने रब को याद करो। तो अल्लाह ताला ने ये हुक्म दिया है। तो हम हमें जो नेमतें मिली हुई हैं, जो ब्लेसिंग्स हमें मिली हुई हैं, अल्लाह ताला हमें ये तौफ़ीक़ अता फ़रमाए कि हम उन ब्लेसिंग्स का शुक्र अदा कर सकें। और इसमें जैसे तहज्जुद को अल्लाह ताला ने गौर फ़िक्र के लिए, तदब्बुर करने के लिए बताया है, तो अल्लाह हमें ये तौफ़ीक़ दे कि हम ये मौके को इस्तेमाल करें और रात को इबादत करें। तो अल्लाह ताला हमें ये तौफ़ीक़ दे। और अगर देखा जाए तो मौलाना का जो मिशन था, वो सारा का सारा सूरह अल-मुज़म्मिल पे ही बेस्ड था,
जी।
उसी पैटर्न पे था।
जी।
और मौलाना की जो सारी किताबें, सारा जो लिटरेचर है, वो दरअसल सूरह अल-मुज़म्मिल की तफ़सीर है। तो अल्लाह ताला मौलाना के दर्जात बुलंद करे और आखिरत में हमें भी ये तौफ़ीक़ दे कि हम सब वहाँ मिलें, इकट्ठा हों और मौलाना भी वहाँ हों इंशाअल्लाह। रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम व तुब अलैना इन्नका अंतत तव्वाबुर रहीम।
Jazakallah, Dr. Saab, for doing this important and beautiful session on Surah Al-Muzammil. So with this, we will end today's session. We'll be back next Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Thank you.